you to Lexington, Kentucky, where the feel-good factor is back for Mark Stoops and this Wildcats program. After 2 straight SEC wins, they'll try and keep the momentum going behind their breakout star quarterback, redshirt freshman Cutter Boley, taking on a 10-0 Tennessee Tech program from the FCS level. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Great opportunity for the Kentucky Wildcats to get back to 500, extend this win streak to 3 against a team that knows an awful lot about winning streaks. Tennessee Tech undefeated on the season. They've got the longest win streak in all of Division I, 15 straight victories going back to last season. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Rock, 2 teams playing their best football of the season down the stretch here in November. Let's start with Kentucky and what they did to Florida last week. Absolute domination.
Yeah, an absolute offensive explosion is what it was. 38 points they put on their arch rivals, the Gators. And look, Mark Stoops is a guy, he likes to run the ball, but they were putting that thing in the air early on. Had over 400 yards of total offense, and then late in that game, the running game came on. 233 rush yards last week.
No, that's been a lopsided rivalry. 2 teams have been playing each other for a long time, so it felt good for Mark Stoops and these Kentucky fans to put 38 on the Gators.
They did, and I think Mark Stoops summed it up best when he told us this week, Jay, our execution has finally caught up to our effort. They're playing their best football right now.
And now trying to keep that going against the Tennessee Tech program that obviously they're jumping up a big level to play in the SEC, but at the FCS level, they're a dynamic offense.
Yeah, not exactly the FCS team you want to play, right? They've won 10 games this year, and they've put up 45 points of offense. Their identity is they want to run the ball, but then they got the quarterback, Kakoa Visparis, who's had an absolutely fantastic season. He's put the ball down the field this year.
So you take a look at that 15-game win streak, longest in Division I, more than North Dakota State, who won the national championship at their level, more than Ohio State, who's only won 14 in a row.
They won 5 straight last year, then 10 this year. They're rolling.
And Kentucky won the toss, decided to defer, so the Wildcats set to kick it away in blue. Tennessee Tech ready to receive in white. They let it go into the end zone for the touchback. So let's take our first look at this Golden Eagles offense. Kakoa Visparis, the quarterback who's been so good for Tennessee Tech throughout the season. 25 touchdowns for their quarterback. He likes to spread the ball around.
Yeah, they get a lot of guys involved in this offense. A couple of running backs, dual threat, they'll kind of carry the load there. Certainly has the wide receivers at his disposal too, but he's a dual threat guy. He'll run around, he'll extend plays with his legs. Kentucky's got to watch that here today.
A Kentucky without 3 starters on defense. Jordan Lovett, Sam Green, and Alex Safari Jr. all ruled out for this game. And after a delay on the field, we are ready to go. Opening play from scrimmage. Visparis goes under center. Quick handoff on the end around. Aiden Little's gain of 2. This is a Kentucky defense, Rocky, that is playing so well in the month of November. Just 10 points allowed in their last 2 SEC wins.
Yeah, it's been wild. I mean, just give up 3 points to Auburn, then 7 last week to Florida. You mentioned those 3 guys that they're going to be without. That's some of their core backbone players. We'll see if some of those other guys can step up here today.
After allowing 56 points in the loss to Tennessee, the response from the defense has really been a microcosm for a team playing their best football here in the month of November. Dave Red Rayner makes a stop after a gain of 3, and that sets up a 3rd and manageable for Kakoa Visparis.
Yeah, and Bobby Wilder, their head coach, told us this week he's like a duck on the water, right? On the surface, he's just calm and cool, which is the kind of demeanor you want for your quarterback, especially if you're coming in here to Kroger Field taking on an SEC opponent.
The 2nd at the FCS level in completion percentage. Very accurate thrower of the football. Will be tested here on a 3rd and 5.
And that trip formation at the top is Trey Holloway. That's his #1 target up top.
Asparis looks left, trying to pick out Tramel Jones, and he missed him. So Kentucky forces a 3-and-out on the opening possession, picking right where they left off against Florida and Auburn before that.
Yeah, the length of this defense, Jay, especially on the back end. They got some tall athletes in that secondary, some great linebackers. Get what they want here to start this game, force the punt.
So Spencer Ashby, a sophomore from Australia, out to punt it away. Kendrick Law ready to receive it. You know, Kentucky's had some trouble in the punt return game. They've had 4 fumbles on punt returns this season. Swirling wind today, gusts up to 30 miles per hour, and that wind goes in Tennessee Tech's favor. Law has to field it on the bounce, but a terrific punt for the Golden Eagles. Spencer Ashby, 55 yards, and that'll set Cutter Boley and this Wildcats offense back. What do you like about Boley, the way he's playing?
Number one thing, Jay, his accuracy has been absolutely incredible. I mean, you're talking for a redshirt freshman. I mean, just in the last 4 games, 74% completion percentage. In my opinion, you and I, we do games all year, Jay. That's my number one quality you want in your quarterback. When you have open guys, does he put it on the money? Boley's doing that right now.
And he has become the face of this second half of the season surge for Kentucky. Playing so well the last 4 games of this season, winning the last 2. Trying to make it 3 straight wins today. Hands it off on first down. That's Seth McGowan.
And as we mentioned, Cutter, last 4 games has really been on a tear. 74% completion percentage, just shy of 1,000 yards passing. The thing you'd like to clean up is that interceptions. 5 interceptions in the last 4 games. And this is a unit for Tennessee Tech. They'll move around, they'll change that picture on the back end to try to keep Cutter Boley guessing.
Right back to McGowan, up the middle. You know, Boley's gotten a lot of the accolades as his team has turned the season around, and rightly so. But he's had a lot of help around him, particularly in the run game. You look at that 1-2 punch of McGowan and Dowdell, how effective they were against Florida.
Quarterback's best friend is a great run game, especially a powerful one. This offensive line, Jay, very experienced. The same starting 5 players on that line all season.
3rd and 1 here. They keep it on the ground. First down, Kentucky. Getting a good push up front. McGowan's had all 3 carries on this opening drive. That one gains 9 to move the chains.
And the challenge for Tennessee Tech is, or for Kentucky, is up front. Tennessee Tech, they like to do a lot of movement, right? Shifts and stunts and slants, and kind of got to sort that thing out. It can kind of catch guys by surprise, and you can get a tackle for loss, but sometimes you can open up some big holes. That's what Kentucky wants to take advantage of.
1st and 10. And just stick with McGowan. This time bottled up, didn't get quite as much running room. And if you're thinking, why is Kentucky coming out and running the football? Look at the difference in the trenches. Just so dominant. 6'6", 323 pounds. So they've got 5 inches, about 80 pounds on Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, and look, the thought process is, you know, just over the course of this game, that size and weight advantage, just leaning on that defensive front, is going to really, really help.
You know, Tennessee Tech having a tremendous season, but they have not faced an offensive line like this one. This time McGowan in the passing game takes it for a gain of 5, and 3rd and short again.
And Boley certainly likes to get his running backs involved in the pass game. I just love calls like that. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and get behind some blocks and gain some yardage.
Every play on this opening drive has gone to McGowan. Third and 1. Right back to McGowan. Trying to churn those legs, extending that football. Needed a yard, and he got it. Forward progress, says McGowan. Picks up the first down, another 3rd down conversion.
The extra effort, turning them legs is what got him. Able to get the first down.
And Kentucky's been excellent on 3rd down. The last 2 games, 56%. They're 2 for 2 today, and that's winning football.
It is, and I think the key is they're having a lot of 3rd and shorts the last few games. Always easier to convert when it's just a few yards instead of long.
This is number 1, 5-yard penalty, first down.
A false start will back Mark Stoops' team to a 1st and 15 after the 3rd down conversion. And it's funny, Rocky, you take a look at how Kentucky has played. I think that Texas game showed that they could go against anybody. Tennessee, lopsided, and then at Auburn and Florida, you look at the numbers, and it really is the 3rd down efficiency as well as how well the defense has played that is the 2 biggest factors.
Complimentary football.
Empty set for Boley. All 4 targets to the left. Quick hitter. It's caught. That's Kendrick Law. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, and then some, gain of 7.
Now there's, 7 wide receivers, a couple running backs, a couple tight ends that get involved in the pass game, but easily his number 1 target is Kendrick Law. And he's a guy, it's kind of an amazing stat, Jay. He has more yards after the catch than before the catch. They just like to shoot him the ball out in space and let him use his quickness and athletic ability to make guys miss. It's been very, very effective for him this year.
Dante Dowdell into the backfield on the left hip of Boley. 8th play of the opening drive for Kentucky. Boley surveys, rolls right, throws. It's caught for a Kentucky first down. They went to the tight end, Henry Boyer, for a gain of 10.
And it was a good job of Boyer of finding space. Quarterback rolls out, he sits down, but then he just moves to the way of the quarterback, getting his eyesight. And that's just a nice big target for Boley, 6'6", 265.
But again, Tennessee Tech, they're 10-0 at the FCS level. They're not usually facing tight ends that big like Boyer. 1st and 10 into Golden Eagles territory for the first time today. Play action. Boley unloads a deep ball, one-on-one coverage. It's caught! Right on the money to Kendrick Law. Gain of 43.
Well, and Jay, it all starts with the protection. Great job by that experienced offensive line we talked about. Look at that. He's just waiting for Kendrick Law to get from one hash to the other. And then the accuracy, as we talked about, hitting the wide receiver in stride. Jalen Shepard with the tackle.
And if you're a Kentucky fan, how can you not be excited about the homegrown redshirt freshman? He has been the spark to turn this season around, looking to make it 3 straight wins. They're in business here. 1st and goal. Handoff, a broken tackle. Stopped at the 1-yard line. It was whistled dead. Kentucky did end up pushing McGowan into the end zone, but it was whistled dead at the 1-yard line.
Well, and for Tennessee Tech, it was Theron Gaines, their great linebacker, number 9. Want to keep an eye on him. He's a great playmaker, a potential next-level guy. He came up and made a great stop. Watch him. He just like a good linebacker, sorts out the trash here, fights off the block, and then knows where the goal line is and tries to pull the runner back.
2nd and goal, 11th play of the opening drive. Handoff right up the middle. McGowan diving, and he's in. Touchdown, Kentucky. Seth McGowan breaks the plane. It opens the scoring in Lexington.
And this is just man-on-man offensive line. Look at the push. The second effort in the push by the Wildcats gets McGowan in the end zone.
Impressive opening drive for Cutter Boley, Seth McGowan, and this Wildcats offense. They go 88 yards at 11 plays, and they take 6 minutes and 37 seconds to do it.
That's a Mark Stoops kind of drive, right?
Yeah, exactly.
6 minutes, 30 seconds, run, pass, good balance, big plays.
Just a team playing good football right now. And we talked to Coach Stoops. Hey, when you schedule Tennessee Tech all the way back in 2018, they were 1-8, and now they're 10-0. And he goes, you know what? We want to play a good football team because we want to keep playing better. We don't want to beat a team because they're just bad. Right. We just want to keep playing good football at this level that they've been playing the last 2 weeks. And you get a 3-and-out on defense and then go 88 yards and 11 plays on offense. Pretty good start and a 7-0 lead.
Well, and Jay, it's everything we talked about. The execution is at a high level right now for Kentucky. Great blocking up front. Nice route by Kendrick Law and a perfect throw by Boley. They cap it off with a rushing touchdown. 7-0 early here at Kroger Field.
Kentucky cashes in on their opening drive for just the 3rd time this season. Impressive on defense to force a 3-and-out, and then they go 11 plays, 88 yards, take 6.5 minutes off this first quarter clock. Really couldn't have scripted it any better for a team looking to get back to 500 and make it 3 straight wins.
Yeah, they look like a team that is still riding that momentum of the last 2 weeks, playing well. As we mentioned, the execution. It's exactly what you want if you're Mark Stoops. You don't want to come in this game and just kind of ease into it and start fumbling around. They started the game with a bang.
Aiden LaRosse, the senior from Cape Town, South Africa, had an impressive touchback on the first kick. You got 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts swirling that ball around, and it's the same result. We step aside again. Tennessee Tech has the ball when we come back. You know, coaches aren't supposed to have favorite players, but Tennessee Tech head coach Bobby Wilder certainly does. That's his son growing up throughout the years. Drew, who is the starting center in his senior year. Drew transferred in so he can play for his dad. And talking with Bobby this week, he said, we do everything together. We live together, cook clean, and you know, he's wearing the sweatshirt. Look at that big number 55. Dad's rocking it.
Yeah, and he said he's a good roommate too. He keeps, you know, he's tidy. He's not a messy roommate. That's exactly what you want. But what, I mean, what a blessing for Bobby Wilder to be able to coach your own son at the college football level. Amazing.
Yeah, he said he is now one of only 4 coaches in the history of college football to coach 2 sons at 2 different schools. He coached his eldest son when he was at the helm of Old Dominion. Drew playing at Eastern Illinois, been through a terrific football journey. We just showed you the pictures of Pee Wee football and now finishing your career playing for Dad.
Yeah, I mean, what an experience. That's something you'll have the rest of your life. Great memories, great moments they'll share.
It's going to be tough sledding for Drew Wilder and this Golden Eagles offensive line going against a Kentucky defense that has held the last 2 SEC opponents they've faced to a combined 10 points. Disparis throwing. He's caught by Maury Sullivan.
And for Disparis, you know, he's from Eastern Washington, got him in the portal, and he had the #1 completion percentage in FCS football last year. So Bobby Wilder said, that's the guy we want. We want the guy that has had production at the college level. They went and got him, and he's been a fantastic player for him.
Yeah, we asked him, how do you get to 10-0? He goes, well, I'm a pretty good coach when I got good players, and Disparis has certainly been a big reason why.
Any coach, Nick Saban, any of them will tell you, great players make great coaches.
Play clock down to 4. 3rd and 5. Disparis. Protection. Holds up well. Nobody open, though. Disparis. Wrestled out of bounds. Good pursuit of the football. Hardaway, the senior out of Columbus, Georgia, chased him down. Loss of 1. And the Golden Eagles forced to punt it away.
Great speed on the back end. Looked like Disparis was going to be able to get around the edge. And it just got shut down by Hardaway.
Could be a busy day for Spencer Ashby, the sophomore punter, who had a nice boot on his first attempt, 55 yards. Low snap. Ashby, just a line drive, total miss hit. Now the low snap did him no favors. This will be good field position for Boley and a Wildcats offense that's already in a good rhythm. They went 88 yards on the first drive. This one will start at the 41. Week 12 in the SEC continues later today, 4 Eastern time. New Mexico State taking on Tennessee, and then Mississippi State at Mizzou is the nightcap. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. We're like you. We got all the college games going on either laptops or monitors, and we just peeked over at the score during the break. Texas A&M is losing to South Carolina 30-3. You never know what's going to happen in the SEC.
Well, and Jay, you mentioned that, and that game's at Kyle Field too.
It's incredible.
It's a home game for Texas A&M. And look, it's why you love college football, right?
You never know what is going to happen.
Yeah. And for Cutter Boley, and we talked with Bush Hamdan, the offensive coordinator this week, and we're like, well, what's helped him so much? Well, we're teaching him 1, 2, 3 vertical, which means go through your progressions, first, second, third. If it's not there, run, get vertical.
Well, first read was there. It's an easy throw and catch to Kendrick Law. First down, Kentucky. And you hear the term, well, we simplified the offense, and you ask, well, how? And it's, yeah.
Yeah, well, instead of trying to get to that 4th, 5th progression, you're never going to get there, so don't worry about it. Hit them first 3. If it's not there, run.
And it's clearly worked in the last 4 weeks. Completion percentage up 20%. And the offense as a whole at a really good rhythm right now.
Yeah, and I think the key part of that too is it's not just run, it's run vertical. Don't run to the sideline, don't run around. Get vertical, get positive yards. That's what's really helped them.
Boley has this offense playing with a little bit of tempo. That throw is a little off the mark, called in by Law. Just short of the first down. This will be 3rd and 1 again.
Ron Gaines. This guy played some D-line. Now he's having a great season at linebacker.
Right up the middle. Dowdell ankle tackled, but enough to move the sticks. 1st and 10 at the Tennessee Tech 30.
Dowdell, he's you know, I guess you'd call him your power back, but he also has his 2 touchdown runs this year, Jay, are 79 yards and 65 yards. He's got some wheels too.
Boley, look at the throw on first down, escapes left. Turns the corner, tiptoeing inside the 10, now laying the lumber. Cutter Boley! How do you not love that? Touchdown, Kentucky! Cutter Boley on an incredible 30-yard scramble, the last 5 of them, using that extra effort to bulldoze his way in.
And that's why they love this kid down here. He's a local guy, and look, I said he run vertical. This wasn't vertical, but don't take this. How about lowering the shoulder? Boom! I mean, that is kind of effort and physicality running over Jamison Wharton there to get into the end zone. That's what these fans love so much. I mean, these UK fans, they love their football team, but they love it even more if it's a local guy like Boley.
I think any fan base in the country could appreciate a play like that. I mean, just the extra effort, putting your body on the line
and
for a touchdown.
That's the one that just wins you so many points and much respect from your offensive line, even your defense. They go, okay, we got a quarterback who's going to lower his shoulder if he has to. Look at that, all of his teammates down there just love what he's doing.
Now, lengthy review here. We showed you a couple of replays. I mean, Boley clearly was in. Now the extra point. Yeah, that's one, Rocky. You started the drive talking about 1, 2, 3 vertical run. I think Bush Hamdan will be okay with the 30-yard scoot around the edge, tiptoe the sidelines for the score.
Yeah, but he got to show his speed and athleticism here, and you just flat got to have that as a quarterback in today's college football. Well, goes through the progressions, not there, not there, not there. There's the pressure, getting outside, keeps his eyes downfield, which you love, but then gets to a point and says, look, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to run out the left side and then lower the shoulder, and let's get a shot with this with the pylon cam here. How about this? Oh, love it. Legs keep going, getting over the line.
That's a football play right there.
Football player.
And it ties his career long for a run. 30 yards into the end zone. Yeah, Cutter Boley quickly becoming a cult hero here in Lexington. Now you think about this, team was 2-5 through 7 games. It looks a little bit like a lost season, and then boom, you beat Auburn. You dominate Florida, a chance to make it 3 in a row, get back to 500. And the way this team's playing, they could beat Vanderbilt and or Louisville.
Absolutely could. Look, you know, like a lot of programs, you're bringing in new guys. It just takes time for those guys to gel, and not just gel, but you're figuring out as a coach, what are we good at? What is this guy good at? What is he not good at? And then during the course of the year, you assess that, and then you start putting your players in the best positions where they can make plays. And I think Mark Stoops and company is really starting to figure this team out.
And the one thing Stoops told us too is a team is allowed to improve over the course of the season. It's not going to be perfect early in the year, and you just keep working hard. And we've said it a couple of times, but the effort has been there. Now the execution is there on both sides of the ball.
And if you ask the coach, exactly what you said, Jay, like you'd rather have your team maybe start off a little bit slower, but then build and get better and better and better and rise as that end of the season comes, rather than, okay, you start off great and then you just kind of fall apart.
Yeah, look at Florida State. I mean,
right,
Florida State week 1, you beat Alabama, you're on top of the world, but that improvement clearly has not come in Tallahassee, and it certainly has for Coach Stoops with this program this season. With Tennessee Tech already in a 2-touchdown haul. Jet sweep here on first down to Trey Holloway. A team that has done a lot of winning under their head coach, Bobby Wilder, longest active win streak in Division I football of 15 games. But he was honest with us. He said, this is the last game you want to play if you're us, because we're focused on winning our conference championship next week against UT Martin, playing in the FCS playoffs. Our season won't really be defined whether we beat Kentucky or not.
Yeah, you want to come out, you want to play well. You know what you're going up against. He just wants to see his guys execute here.
Yet to have a first down today. Maybe they'll get one here. Falling forward is Jennings. About a yard shy, 3rd and 1 upcoming. Austin Ramsey made the tackle.
This defensive line for Kentucky really playing well. I mean, he's allowing those linebackers to fly around out there. Great shot of Austin Ramsey.
Go back to Jennings, pushing that pile, churning those legs for the first down. First time the Golden Eagles have moved the chains today.
Yeah, and Tennessee Tech's getting a little push here against those big boys up front, and good job by Jennings just being patient and just waiting and finding a little daylight, sneaking through there. And Kentucky makes it really tough on you. They play, Jay, what's called a zero nose. They put a big guy, they'll put Ramsey or Augusta right over that nose, or over the center, and that just really creates an anchor for your defensive line.
A defense that is missing 3 starters today. Big play into the secondary. Maury Sullivan, Disparis hit him right in stride into Wildcats territory, a monster gain of 29.
And that's your classic RPO. Watch Disparis, he rides that thing down, the safety bites up on it, 34, and then you throw the slant in behind it. There's a real art to that, and Disparis is doing an excellent job with that RPO.
So a first quarter that certainly has belonged to the home team, Kentucky, but Tennessee Tech gets their first big play of the game, trailing by 2 touchdowns as we head to the second quarter. Cutter Boley, the extra effort, it's paying dividends for the redshirt freshman, up 2 touchdowns. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Start of the second quarter. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Kentucky a 2-touchdown lead to start the second quarter, but Tennessee Tech putting a nice drive together. 1st and 10 in Wildcats territory. Disparis scrambling, decides to tuck and run and slides just short of the first down marker.
That's what he's so good at. Exceptional athlete, doesn't mess around. Goes through his progressions, it's not there, boom, he's going to run it. That's going to be the challenge for this D-line. You want to rush, you want to get after the passer, you want to get a sack. Can't open up those rush lanes.
Hey, that's what you were talking about with Cutter Boley. 1, 2, 3, vertical run. Vespera's doing the same thing there. Tennessee Tech loading up the right side of this line. They run that way with Holloway. Inside the 20, goes out of bounds. This is a much better drive for Tennessee Tech after they went back-to-back 3 and out. Now in the red zone for the first time this afternoon.
Nice drive, and that little end around there fooled a couple guys on that second level for that Kentucky defense. They didn't know where the ball was.
First and 10 from the Wildcats, 15. Littles just couldn't stretch that play out. Met it the line by a blue wall. No gain.
That's exactly what it was, Jay. There's a blue wall getting built. He kept trying to string that thing out, look for a cutback lane, but wasn't happening. Like he's Humphrey Grace, a great transfer from South Dakota, from Cincinnati, Ohio. He had a great job just holding that line up.
Well, they've struggled to run the ball today. The success they have had has come in the passing game with Vesperis. And he's set to throw here. He just couldn't connect with Maury Sullivan. Well covered.
We got to mention this wind is kind of formidable, right? It's blowing with Tennessee Tech right now, but it's blowing left to right, but also kind of top to bottom. I don't know if that affected his throw. Just
yeah. Got away from him.
Yeah, got away from him. And these winds 18 miles per hour and gusting.
3rd and 10. Kentucky looking for a red zone stop. Golden Eagles run it. Conservative play call, and it's well defended once again by the Wildcats. Steven Souls Jr., the sophomore who's playing in place of Sam Green, who's out injured. Green's been such a good player for this Kentucky defense. And you mentioned the wind being a factor. Well, poor Dom LeBlanc, the sophomore kicker for Tennessee Tech, he's going to be kicking with that swirling wind. Now, it is behind him, but we were down on the field earlier. It could send it any which way.
I think he's going to have to aim it left and let that thing carry back right.
LeBlanc from 32. And he missed it. That wind certainly did blow that football left of the uprights. No good. And Kentucky, big stop in the red zone, a missed kick, and it's still scoreless for Tennessee Tech. Wildcats, 14-0. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Cutter, Boley, and Rocky. This Kentucky offense is picked up right where they left off against Florida.
And so is Cutter Boley. Everything we talked about, the accuracy, the going through the progressions. He's 6 of 6 for 82 yards and then 30 rushing, lowering the shoulder for the touchdown that got this crowd fired up. Again, it's easy to see why they're so excited about the young redshirt freshman quarterback in Boley.
14-0 lead, just got the second quarter started. That's Kendrick Law. And they get the ball in his hands so effectively. And for good reason, gain of 5 there. Take a look at the first 2 Kentucky drives. Both resulted in touchdowns, and they did it in different ways.
Yeah, they did. And that's, again, the complimentary football that Mark Stoops has been loving these last couple weeks. And he even said in the press conference this week, look, I want to run it, but if we're throwing the ball the way we are, we'll do that too.
Boley 7 for 7 through the air today. Quick hitter. Right back to Law, who picks up the first down. And what a weapon for a young quarterback when you can rely on Kendrick Law, who's been the top target for Boley since he's come in, and for good reason. So reliable.
And it's especially good, Jay, for a younger quarterback. You know, he's still figuring the game out. You want to have somebody that you can just shoot the ball to and let them make a play. That helps build your confidence. You know, in Boley, you don't have to throw the ball 15, 20 yards down the field all the time. Shoot your playmaker in Law. Let him go do the rest.
The pitch running left. It's McGowan. Cuts back. Flag comes out. McGowan. Right to the line of scrimmage.
Flag on the play.
So a gain of 6 gets negated because of the hold.
Yeah, it looks like toward the bottom. I think that was Josh Caddis, tight end, just hooked the defensive end.
That's the one thing Mark Stoops will be on these guys, regardless of opponent, right? Even if you win this game, you got to do it by playing clean, good football. You don't want a holding call to push you behind the sticks here. Boley throwing. That one got away from him. First incompletion of the afternoon. And Fred Ferrier didn't have a chance of that ball.
Some of those long passes to the perimeter are tougher in this wind because that just gives a longer time for that gusting wind that we talked about to catch a hold of that ball. Looked like it affected that throw.
Big hole opens up. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. But the official was in on that tackle, too. Good to see him pop back up.
Offsides on the defense. Yeah, looks like we got the nose tackle to jump. And
yeah, Paul Myers, the official, goes down there. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah.
He's a football guy,
Looks
right?
like a tough guy. Yeah.
Pop right back up.
Smiling. There
Now
we go.
The head referee, if you're hearing that you can't really hear him, that's how much wind is here at Kroger Field. His mic is on. He just announced an offside, so 3rd and 8. Elected to take the run instead of the penalty.
Tennessee Tech showing pressure right in those A-gaps. Drop one out.
Boley trying to keep the drive alive on a 3rd and 8. Flush to his left, throws on the run, and it's dropped. J.J. Hester could not hang on. And another flag, 3rd straight play that we've had a flag in this game.
Holding. Offense number 3. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
The penalty declined, forces Kentucky to punt it away.
Aiden Ross in punt formation for Kentucky.
After 2 impressive drives that resulted in touchdowns, that one stalls out. And again, you get behind because of the hold, and penalties start to pile up on you. Makes life difficult. Aiden LaRosse. Holloway fields it on the bounce, and he's dragged down right at the 20. Good special teams from Kentucky. A long field for Kekoa Vespera, so this Tennessee Tech offense down by 2 touchdowns when we come back. Tomorrow afternoon, women's volleyball doubleheader in the SEC. Oklahoma at Tennessee at 1 and Vandy at Mississippi State at 3. Hey, here in Lexington, you know about SEC volleyball. UK clinched a share of their 9th straight SEC championship last night. An incredible dynasty in the SEC on the volleyball court. And they'll be in the mix to win a national championship this season, something to follow throughout the rest of the fall. There's Bobby Wilder, head coach of Tennessee Tech.
And you and I both agreed, Jay, pretty conservative play calling there on Tennessee Tech's last drive. We'll see if they open things up a bit.
He told us, look, this season's not going to be defined by how we play Kentucky. They're looking to finish out their FCS season next week against UT Martin and hopefully advance to the FCS postseason. You take a look at the OVC standings. They're in the driver's seat, but they play UT Martin next week. So he said he needs to get through this game healthy above all else.
It's a tough thing, right? Because you're here and you got a great team. You want to put it out there. You got players that, you know, when's the next time they'll play an SEC opponent? They're all fired up, but you also, in the bigger picture, don't want to get guys hurt as you're making a playoff run, and they've had such a fantastic season. So it's a tough balance that Bobby Wilder has to try for today.
2nd and 4, Vesperis gets it out quickly. It's caught for a Tennessee Tech first down. Maury Sullivan. Yeah, this is another stat that Bobby Wilder brought up. He goes, I'm a realist, okay? FCS record against the SEC, 0-11, average loss of 45 points. So if we go in here and, you know, play to absolutely win and shock the world, but we lose 10 starters doing it due to injury because we're playing too hard, that's not worth it, because our goal is, you know, ultimately to get to Nashville, Tennessee, an hour down the road on January 5th to try and win an FCS national championship.
It's tough on, you know, your philosophy versus the reality of it. And look, the FCS championship is what they're playing for.
That's intercepted. Vesperis forced to throw on the run, and Kentucky takes it away. Cam Dooley, the sophomore safety, in perfect position, went low to grab it.
And it's Cam Dooley who's getting a lot more playing time with Jordan Lovett out for the season, and Vesperis is rolling out. He's trying to hit Tyler Nix, but it's high. It's behind him.
Great catch.
Great catch. Excellent. I said, just really impressed with Kentucky on the back end. Their length, they got the size, they got the height, but they got guys back there that can run. When you can run, good things happen. Balls pop in the air, you can track them down, get it back to your hot offense.
And Vesperis, only 4 interceptions on the season, but just was under pressure, and Dooley just makes a great play on that football. Short field for Cutter Boley in this Kentucky offense. Boley flushed, and he's off target, throwing on the run. Looking for the freshman Cam Miller.
Talked about his accuracy, but he missed on this one. This is a little bit harder, rolling to your left, away from your throwing arm. Ball just sailed on, and maybe it's the wind.
3 straight incompletions after starting this game, 8 for 8. And you got wind gusts over 30 miles an hour. You never know when one of those just takes that football. Pitch right, Dowdell turns upfield for a first down. So tough to bring down Dante Dowdell.
And I'll tell you what I love about that. It's a perimeter run. They're going to toss it, but look at Dowdell. Immediately gets his foot in the ground and goes vertical. Doesn't just string that thing out to the sideline. It's a perimeter play, but boom, hits it, goes north-south.
Right back to Dowdell, this time wrestled down, only a gain of 1. Boley steps up, throws, it's caught, first down Kentucky. Hardley Gilmore driven back, and after he gained the first down, 16-yard completion from Boley. I thought he was about to run that football, but decides to throw it at the last second.
And that's what you love out of a young quarterback. Yeah, he's going to take it, maybe he's going to go vertical, but look, the eyes stay downfield. You know, the quarterbacks that when the throw option goes away, then they just start looking down at the ground or looking around. No, he keeps his eyes downfield and finds an open guy.
Timeout, Tennessee Tech. This is a big defensive possession for them. Already down 2 touchdowns. We'll step aside on the timeout. eventful Saturday in the SEC. You could say that every Saturday, but on ABC, 3:30 Eastern Time, Oklahoma at Alabama, and then Texas at Georgia. Kind of the new guard versus the old guard.
The old school, Alabama, Georgia, and then the new guys, Oklahoma and Texas. And Texas, of course, playing a lot better. And
you take a look at the standings. There's a lot to play for at the top. Texas A&M losing right now 30-17 to South Carolina. So that SEC championship game very much up for grabs. It could be determined by those two games coming up later today on ABC.
That's what you want as a college football fan. Season's coming down to the wire, and there's still a lot up in the air, not just in the SEC, but a lot of these conferences.
And then Mark Stoops told us, you look at where Kentucky is, and they're part of that log jam. He said there's a ton of teams just at that 2-win mark, and it's tough to win in this league.
Yeah, it's the beauty and the curse of the SEC. You got a bunch of great teams that just beat up on each other and cannibalize each other throughout the season.
Cutter Boley on 2nd and 8, checks it down. Kendrick Law runs underneath that one. That football got loose. Andrew Smith ended up with it, but they say Law was down before it popped out.
A mouthpiece, a tooth, or something flew out here. I'm not sure exactly.
You hope it's a mouthpiece.
Let's watch this.
Yeah.
Helmet clip? Not sure. Boys are hitting out there.
Tennessee Tech playing hard. They are just outsized in this one, particularly in the trenches. McGowan takes advantage of that offensive line, picks up the first down. And we showed it to you earlier, but Kentucky has an average of 5 inches and 80 pounds on their offensive line against the Golden Eagles defensive line, and they have used it early and often to their advantage.
And that's why you see Tennessee Tech shifting like right before the snap as they did on that last play, slanting, darting in, trying to create an advantage through movement rather than size, which they don't have.
8th play of the drive. Keep it on the ground. McGowan driving forward. Dowdell and McGowan, a terrific dynamic duo out of the backfield. Boley gets all the headlines, but he's got a great run game to lean on.
Yeah, great run game. As we mentioned, 2 great running backs, but the offensive line, the size, they're physical, really excel at run blocking.
Boley throws, got it out quickly to find Law. That'll bring up 3rd and short, right to the 5-yard line. There's a flag down that flew in late.
Illegal substitution. More than 12 players on the field during the snap. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
And Tennessee Tech just got caught in the sub game here.
Yeah, you can see that number 2 came on late. Same thing, they're still trying to get guys off the field.
This time they do it successfully. Law in motion. Hand off McGowan. And he rumbles in for another Kentucky touchdown. It has been all Wildcats in this first half as Kentucky looks to make it 3 straight wins and get back to 500.
That's Kentucky football. Pull 2 guys around, that puppy just goes right downhill into the A-gap. McGowan running with a head of steam, plunges it in.
Wildcats had the short field after the interception. They go 51 yards in 9 plays, and Mark Stoops' team up 3 touchdowns now.
They're physical, but they got a little flair at the end too. Does McGowan? You dance like that, don't you, Jay?
I was about to say, I don't think you'd catch Rocky Boyman doing that on a football field.
It's not my style, but look, whatever juices these kids up.
And Kentucky's feeling it right now.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of the sentiment of the program. You're 2-5 after 7 games, a lot of uncertainty, and then looks like it's going to be a lost season. Boom, you beat Auburn on the road. You hammer Florida 38-7, and then you didn't know what was going to happen today. Obviously, they were a big favorite going against an FCS opponent, but Tennessee Tech, they're undefeated on the season. If you go back to last season, they've won 15 in a row, so you just wanted to make sure you come out and handle your business, and that's exactly what they've done in this first half.
Yeah, that's right, and it's the mindset, Mark Stoops was preaching to his team all week. Yeah, not just any FCS team. This is a really, really good one, but, I mean, so far they've really just continued playing the way they have the last 2 weeks, all 3 phases.
The wind just took that one completely out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds, free kick out of bounds, kicking team. By rule, the ball being placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
I think Aiden Laros just tried to squib that ball, and it took off on him.
But yeah, it shows you how gusting this wind is.
And it's swirling in multiple directions.
And if he can blow a squib kick out of bounds, that tells you something.
Kentucky's defense back out onto the field. Tennessee Tech will start from their own 35-yard line. Wildcats trying to keep the Golden Eagles scoreless in this first half. Koa Vesperis trying to shake off the interception on the previous possession. Running the ball. Kennedy Fauntleroy, his first carry of the game.
Nice fill there by Martellus Carter, the freshman defensive back. Again, you're going to see a lot more of him with Jordan Lovett out for the season. Nice fill there from the safety position.
And this is a good game for Kentucky to reconfigure their defense, a unit that lost 3 starters last week in the win against Florida.
Yeah, and the killer is going to be the loss of Sam Green just from a pass rushing havoc standpoint.
Vesperis in trouble, forced to run, has the first down and more into Kentucky territory, and that's the best play of the day for Tennessee Tech. Vesperis, a 21-yard gain.
It's the hard part when you play man-to-man. Your eyes are on your receiver, and you don't look back to the running quarterback. And we talked about the athleticism. He's got that burst to the outside. And look, you see Hardaway, the corner. I don't think he saw Vesperis until he was more than 20 yards down the field.
Fauntleroy in motion. Empty set for Vesperis. Slings it over the middle. Brian Courtney, the tight end. Transfer from Florida State. They are very high on the senior tight end, gain of 12.
Now, I understand, as we've discussed, Tennessee Tech and Bobby Wilder, you know what this game is. You don't want to put your guys at risk, but you got a great drive going in. You got to go for the score here, right?
Absolutely.
Say, hey, look, we put up points at Kroger Field against a great Kentucky defense. I think that can do a lot for your football team moving forward as well.
And maybe they'll target Courtney here as they get near the red zone. That was his first catch of the day. They told us, Tennessee Tech's coaches, he's the best player that nobody knows about. Keep an eye on 83 as Tennessee Tech looks for their first points of this first half. .30 Eastern Time. You do not want to miss the True South season finale. It is a sprint across the belly of the SEC in search of a really good cheeseburger. What a great way to wrap up another terrific year. True South Thursday night. Rocky Boyman, best cheeseburger that you've ever had on the road.
It's a Juicy Lucy.
What?
It's in Minnesota.
Okay.
Matt's, I believe, is the place's name. That's as good as it gets.
Vesperis flushed out, still on his feet. Now rolls back left. How about Koa Vesperis not giving up on the play? He ran to Louisville and back.
For 5 yards.
Gained 6, yeah. Heck of a play, though.
Yeah, you can tell why. I mean, this guy's an absolute menace at the FCS level. I mean, look, this is a fast, athletic Kentucky defense, and he's just out there running around. Love it.
That looked like the Boyman boys in the backyard. And by the way, speaking of the Boyman household, I was going to say the best cheeseburger I've had. Kelly Boyman, your wife, before the Maction game on Wednesday night in Oxford, Ohio.
You stopped by the Boyman compound.
And, could be a recency bias. Could be a recency bias.
Second charge, timeout of the half.
No, that was great.
Timeout, Tennessee Tech. Bobby Wilder, we told you earlier, is wearing that number 55 on his chest. That's his son, Drew, who's the senior center for him. And he told us, look, his season's going to be defined by how they do against UT Martin next week. If they can win their conference, get a top 8 seed in the FCS playoff, and hopefully go on a run. But now that you're in the red zone here and want to put some points on the board, he's trying to pull something out of the bag here at the end of the first half. Just a great football coach. Before he took over Tennessee Tech, they hadn't had a winning season in 12 years.
Unbelievable.
And now 15 wins in a row, 10-0 this season. Just a really, really good football coach.
He's one heck of a recruiter. He's one heck of a fundraiser, as he discussed with us. It's working.
Vespera steps up, escapes the sack again, has the first down, gets out of bounds safely. Another terrific heads-up play by Kekoa Vesperis, the scrambling and mobile quarterback for Tennessee Tech.
And he picked up a great block at the end by his running back, Aiden Littles, out to the outside, just enough to allow him to get a couple more yards.
Remember, Tennessee Tech got to this area of the field earlier in this half, but they stalled out, missed a field goal, hoping to cash in here right before halftime. Run the ball up the middle. Aiden Littles.
Well, and Jay, Bobby Wilder, as he's talking about the turnaround, he said, look, to complete a turnaround, you need 3 things. You need a schedule, you need money, and you need a quarterback. And he certainly has nailed all 3, but especially the quarterback position. Getting Vesperis from Eastern Washington, saw his production, the completion percentage, so that's a guy we got to bring here.
So Mark Stoops uses a timeout, conserving the clock perhaps to give an opportunity back to his offense and Cutter Boley to look to score.
And again, the schedule, look, you want to have a manageable schedule. You want to play good teams, but it can't be an absolute gauntlet, so you got to have that. And let's face it, in today's college football, you need money. I mean, that's what these kids respond to. It's not the facilities, it's not the lore or the legends of the university. It comes down a lot of times to money, and he's done a great job. And they are, for what he has described, very well funded at Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, particularly at the FCS level. Vesperis rolls right, throws on the run. It's caught. Tremel Jones makes the grab, bounced out of bounds. Mark Stoops gets to keep a timeout in his pocket because Tennessee Tech goes out of bounds there.
I'm Tennessee Tech here. I'm giving Vesperis a 2-way go here. He's been incredible with his legs on this drive here, and that's Kentucky's issue right now. They got to make sure they cover their guys, but keep eyes on the quarterback. I imagine we'll see some zone defense here so they can keep a hold of Vesperis.
Up the middle with Fauntleroy, and he's taken down. Davin Rayner all over that one, the middle linebacker.
And Davin Rayner, of all the great players on this Kentucky defense, he might be the most important. He's aggressive, he disrupts, he causes havoc, he comes downhill. SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week last week for the performance against Florida.
30-second
Timeout Kentucky. Stops the clock at 1:20. You had a decision to make. If you're Bobby Wilder and Tennessee Tech, you were in this exact same position earlier. You went for the field goal attempt and you missed it from 32. Wind has played a factor this entire first half. Do you go for this on 4th and 3?
If I'm Bobby Water, I'm looking at my play call sheet. I'm finding my best, most creative play and say, look, let's try a touchdown. Let's try for a touchdown. Let's come in here to Kroger Field, try to put 6 points on the board. That looks exactly what they're going to do.
I think you got to keep an eye on big number 83, Brian Courtney, that tight end from Florida State.
Yeah, he's in that trips formation at the top there on the hash.
4th and 3. Tennessee Tech leaves their offense on the field. Kentucky brings 4. Vesperis flush to his right, throws, it's caught, and it's to Brian Courtney, and the Golden Eagles strike with 1:18 left in this first half.
Yeah, a little bit of everything we talked about. Brian Courtney, the big tight end, you saw him start on the hash, just sifting his way through that defense, but it's the ability of Vesperis to just keep the play alive, extend that play, and allow Courtney to get from one hash across the field to the other, and then with a perfect throw. That was impressive.
9-play, 65-yard drive, and Tennessee Tech does it in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Very impressive drive. Well, that's what we knew the Golden Eagles were capable of.
Celebration from Vesperis. Drew Wilder, as we talked about, Bobby Wilder's son. And that's cool. I mean, Vesperis, Courtney, all these guys will be able to one day say, hey, look, we played Kentucky when I was in college. We came into Kroger Field. We put up 7 points right before half. They're in this thing. And for them, for Bobby Wilder, he just cut this thing loose. You know, the odds, the stats are against you. Just cut it loose.
And maybe earlier in the first half, we were talking about the play calling was a little conservative, but on that drive, they did more of what has gotten them to be 10-0.
It is, and you know, what Bobby Wilder is weighing right now, and you know it, Jay, is we keep the starters in, we just got a great touchdown, our best drive of the game, we're only down 14 points, or is the mindset the greater goal and making sure we don't get injuries heading to our last game of the season against UT Martin next week to try to get that top 8 seed.
Yeah, that touchdown actually makes it more difficult, right? If you go into halftime 21-0, you probably call off the dogs, but here's Kendrick Law, great return, showing off the speed. He gets past the 40, and this sets up a better field position for Cutter Boley and the offense with 1:10 to go.
Going backwards, and Law catches it, and a nice return here. I'm really excited to watch Cutter Boley here on this drive.
After the play, personal foul. Late hit, number 31 of the kicking team. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the run.
Wow.
First down.
So a late hit called against Tennessee Tech. This is going to give Cutter Boley and the Wildcats offense the ball in Golden Eagles territory.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was the
what
kicker,
the thought
Dom
process
LeBlanc.
Was. Yeah, by the kicker, hitting Kendrick Law, but
they get at the 45-yard line.
Unbelievable.
So Kentucky with a great opportunity to answer here. They got 70 seconds and 1 timeout.
And this is money time for Cutter Boley. See what he's got in this 2-minute drive.
Play action. Boley slings it to Law. A hurdle inside the 30. We have liftoff from Kendrick Law. What a play.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you talk about skying.
He just goes over Eric Taylor and Leon Thomas, the double.
Amazing.
Boley throws right on the money again, and just like that, in 2 plays, Kentucky's inside the 10-yard line.
A great job again by the offensive line. Then Jamori Macklin on the corner route runs away from the defensive back, 2 feet down, out of bounds.
Time's not even a factor now. It's still 53 seconds left. 1 timeout. 1st and goal. Force Kentucky to run the football. McGowan down right at the 1-yard line.
And McGowan's trying to struggle to get in. You see those offensive linemen flying in, trying to push him across the end zone line.
McGowan already has 2 rushing touchdowns today.
That's 3 here.
They give it to him, and he's in. 3 rushing touchdowns in this first half for Seth McGowan. And Kentucky with the immediate answer. 51 seconds after Tennessee Tech scores, the Wildcats find the end zone. What a response.
And the strength. I mean, watch the defensive tackle. Chime Agwagwu comes driving upfield and has McGowan around the neck, but the legs are too powerful. He's right there ready to make a tackle for loss and then just keeps churning, punches it in.
All 4 Kentucky touchdowns today have come on the ground. 3 of them belong to McGowan. And that's a body blow for Tennessee Tech. You know, the Golden Eagles, you put together that drive to cut it to 14, and then bang, Kentucky hammers them in just 51 seconds. They go 45 yards at 4 plays after the long return by Law.
Well, we were just discussing, Jay, what's Bobby Wilder going to do? Is he going to maybe leave the starters in now? A drive like that, that makes it tougher. But, I mean, just watch the leg drive through. And watch the hurdle, the athleticism. Whoop! Wow. He jumped over top of Leon Thomas, who goes 5'10".
And Kentucky gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. So an opportunity to really separate if you get the touchdown going into halftime and get the touchdown coming out of halftime to start the 3rd quarter. Two touchdowns in this game and the under 2-minute timeout segment. Tennessee Tech will likely run this clock out and go into halftime trailing by 3 touchdowns. As Mark Stoops' team continues to keep it rolling. The feel-good factor has come back to Lexington with 2 straight SEC wins, and this is a team just playing really good football right now in November.
Yeah, they are, and just as we've discussed, you know, take some time, figure out your team, what they're good at, what they're not good at, and right now they seem to have really figured that out. I mean, they've run the ball well today. They had the great 2-minute drive, getting down there very quickly, as we just saw.
As we predicted, Vesperis takes a knee, and that will do it for this first half. Mark Stoops with his Wildcats team well on their way to getting back to 500 and extending this winning streak to 3 in a row. Coming up at halftime, plenty to talk about in the SEC. You'll be joined by Peter Burns, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. They'll tell you what's going on in another busy Saturday across the SEC. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, about to start the second half here in Lexington, Kentucky, where the Wildcats are all on top of Tennessee Tech, 28-7, a commanding cushion to start this 3rd quarter. Hi, everybody. Alongside Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. This Kentucky offense looks real good, Rocky. 4 touchdowns and just really dominant in that first half.
Well, they really emerged the last 2 weeks, and they've picked up right where they left off, both running and passing, and in particular, it's been the running game. 113 rush yards in that first half, and it's been McGowan who's been doing a lot of work, but also Cutter Boley laying the wood down, getting his boys fired up, playing physical out there. You know, it's just, this is the staple of a Kentucky offense. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then when they come up on it, then we can throw the pass. But that experienced offensive line, the same 5 guys that have started all year, are really driving it home right now.
You take a look at those first half stats, all 4 touchdowns on the ground. You know, Boley started this game 8 for 8 through the air. You know, the second half surge of this season, you know, a season that looked lost through 7 weeks of just 2 and 5. Yeah, Cutter Boley, he's been the headline, right? He's been the showstopper. But you're right, this offensive line and these running backs deserve a lot of credit as well.
You know, and we'll talk more about him as the second half goes on, Jay, but you know, Coach Stoops told us during the week when we met with him, I mean, there's potentially 3 next-level NFL guys on this line, maybe more. It shows you the caliber of line that they have.
And it's all started coming together really the last 4 weeks. And if they could keep this 3-touchdown lead, they will head into the Vanderbilt game at 5-5, a 3-game win streak, an opportunity to go to a bowl game.
You and I both think they match up well against Vanderbilt. We had them a couple weeks back, actually a month and a half or so ago. You know, with the way Kentucky runs the ball.
And the way they're playing defense right now, too, to contain Pavia. I just think that's a game that's right there for the taking. But first things first, this second half, Kentucky will get the ball to start it, already with a 28-7 lead. Well, they finished this first half with a touchdown. About 20 seconds left in it, and now the double score opportunity for Cutter Boley in this offense. You get one going into halftime and now looking for one to come out of it and really separate and put this game away early in the third quarter.
Jay, I was really impressed with Boley in that first half, just the poise, right? You know, calm and cool. He's going through his progressions, doesn't look rushed out there, doesn't look like things are moving too fast for him. It's impressive for the freshman.
Dowdell starts in the backfield. Boley swings it out to Kendrick Law. Those Law's long return that ignited the late touchdown drive at the end of the first half. And he's got 9 receptions already in this game.
Just a great target, allowing those easy outside throws for your quarterback and let him do the rest.
And those 9 receptions already a career high for Kendrick Law. Up the middle with Dowdell.
And I think Dowdell wants to get in on the party here a little bit. You know, McGowan's has 3 touchdowns, and he wants to kind of ramp it up here.
Yeah, Dowdell only 7 carries in that first half compared to McGowan's 13. You look at what Dowdell did against Florida in limited snaps. 7 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown, averaging 15 yards per carry. This time they go to Law, and it's well read by Tennessee Tech on a 3rd and 2. Xavier Randolph, great stuff. And that brings up 4th down.
I just never loved the jet sweep on 3rd and short, right? Like, just you got the line, just pound that thing down the middle. They try to go to Law and get to the perimeter, but I mean, great penetration. That's what this Tennessee Tech defense does. They slant, they shoot, and got some penetration. Great play by Randolph.
That is the first negative offensive play for Kentucky. Almost had that punt blocked. Aiden LaRosse just got it away. Tennessee Tech will take over at their own 40-yard line. And LaRosse is lucky he got this punt off.
You talk about something that'll throw a wrench in the game, getting a punt blocked. And this was close. He overran it.
Yeah, Calvin Crummy, he got there early.
Got there too early. He got there too quickly. Wow. Kentucky certainly dodges a bullet there.
Koa Vesperis on the touchdown drive. It was engineered by him really using his legs, extending plays. And here he is scrambling on 1st down, throws. Great catch. Maury Sullivan hauled that in.
Wow, he got one down. Good secure. Yeah, got the left foot down. Excellent concentration.
The only problem for Sullivan is he signaled for the first down, and it's 2nd and 2. It was a great catch, though.
He had a lot of success getting Vesperis outside the pocket, giving him a clear vision to throw the ball.
First down on a broken tackle. Quintel Quinn into Kentucky territory. Gain of 14.
Yeah, it's just a little zone run off the weak side there. Ty Bryant just missed the tackle. These are a very sure tackling member of that secondary.
Right back to Quinn. He's given this Tennessee Tech offense a boost. Back-to-back carries. That one goes for 9.
Yeah, Brad White, the defensive coordinator, can't be happy right now. Look, there's still a nice push. Got some white jerseys up to the 2nd level, blocking the linebackers.
It might be human nature. You go into halftime playing an FCS opponent. You're leading by 3 touchdowns. But this Golden Eagles offense, they've come shot out of a cannon to start this 3rd quarter. Another first down. Quintel Quinn, 3 straight carries, and he's made a difference on this drive.
And Jay, what you're seeing is Kentucky is concerned with, and rightfully so, the scrambling ability of Vesperis. So they got a lot of guys kind of on that 2nd level there, but don't have much edge. That's 2 times on this drive Kentucky's not had a guy up on that edge, and they've made him pay for it.
Quintel Quinn, who only had 2 carries the entire first half, has 3 on this drive alone for 31 yards. This time Jennings out of the backfield, falls forward. Tennessee Tech enters the red zone.
Kentucky's playing 3 down linemen, and they sneak a linebacker up there, but there's a nice patience there by Jennings.
3rd time this afternoon the Golden Eagles have entered the red zone. They have a missed field goal and a touchdown. Trying to cut this lead down to 14, where you stay within striking distance.
Kentucky can't let Vesperis run around here.
Vesperis looking for the tight end, Courtney. He's got the lone Golden Eagles touchdown and just overshot him there.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. He's wide open, and looks like he might have rushed that throw a little bit. He had another split second to kind of set his feet as he's backpedaling there. Just kind of jerked through that thing.
Well, it's Bobby Wilder going to draw up on a 3rd and 5. Just 1 for 5 today on 3rd down, 45% on the season.
Got Trey Holloway to the top in the slot. All right.
Jennings bottled up. No room to run. A swarm of blue jerseys. And now a decision to make on 4th down. Only gained 1, so it's 4th and 4.
I thought the mentality is they were going to try to pick up a few and go for it anyway on 4th down, but it looks like they're going to maybe still thinking about it here. They're going to keep the offense out there.
I think the early missed field goal from just 32 yards weighs heavily on the mind.
Yeah, and they missed it right down here in this end zone with the wind swirling. All right, we're going to try all the way to the top now.
Now remember, Tennessee Tech scored their lone touchdown on 4th down. Can they find success here? 4th and 4. Whistles.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Ouch.
4th down.
Play clock ran down on Vesperis. Didn't get the snap off in time, so delay of game. And now Bobby Wilder sends his field goal unit out there.
Man, that's a killer. You make the decision, you're going to go for it. And remember their touchdown, they got Brian Courtney, the tight end, open. Probably going to go back to him, but now going to have to settle for the field goal attempt.
LeBlanc, who missed from 32, this one from 38. This time, Dom LeBlanc puts through. So after the delay of game, Tennessee Tech elects for the field goal, and they cash in for 3. Kentucky still on top, 28-10.
And Jay, I've been really impressed with Kendrick Law today. How about this? 9 targets, 9 receptions for 105, and they've been every which way, right? And the short passes, had the deep shot down the field in the first scoring drive. Just shoot it to him in space, let him make some guys miss. And yeah, you can also do this. How about hurdle guys?
A career day for Kendrick Law, the transfer from Alabama, a career high in receptions and yards.
And Jay, early in the game I talked about, he has more yards after the catch than he does before. Holding true today is 105 yards, 62 of them coming after the catch.
Plus, he had a 40-yard kick return that set up the touchdown right before halftime. The Tennessee Tech has struggled on the last 3 kickoffs to get this ball to stay still. We've told you all game long the wind has been a factor. Gusts up over 30 miles per hour.
They let you put it on a tee twice and then falls down after the second time. They make you come and bring the holder in.
My point would be, if it hasn't worked all day, why would it start working now? Maybe we should just start with the holder from the beginning.
And now they're going to change holders. All right. Okay.
You'd think they'd look to kick it away from Law, and that's exactly what they did. Carried a big gust of wind out the back of the end zone. So Kentucky offensively, 4 touchdowns in the first half. They come out first drive of this second half and just didn't look the same.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Just looked a little discombobulated, and I think it's up to Cutter Boley now to settle this unit down. The jet sweep on 3rd down was the one I didn't love. I mean, your offensive line we talked about, they've been mashing all game. I think we'll see a little bit more of that here on this drive.
They want to go vertical, right?
Yeah.
Right up the middle. Can't be more vertical than that with Seth McGowan. Gain of 7.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky runs this counter play just beautifully. You know, you bring the backside, tight end and wing. Look at this. 2 guys from the backside, the tackle, and follow behind 81. That's a massive hole.
Dowdell into the backfield now. Law in motion. Boley. Nobody open. Decides to tuck and run. Good tackle, Jameson Wharton, to bring down Boley.
And credit Boley for looking to his left and see it out of his peripheral. There's no one out there. Boom, take it. Tuck that thing and go and pick up a first down.
Well, we saw it in the first half. The redshirt freshman Boley, he's not afraid to put his body on the line. Did so on a 30-yard touchdown run. This time hands it off. McGowan met at the line of scrimmage.
And you can tell our Tennessee Tech defensively, they're bringing more and more guys in the box. They're bringing safeties down. That's going to create some one-on-one opportunities outside. I think UK can take advantage here. Try to put one in the air down the field.
Two linebackers playing really well right now for the Golden Eagles, Theron Gaines and Aaron Swafford. And Tennessee Tech plays the unique 4-2-5. Usually if you've got 5 back, you only have 3 on the line. Boley just checks it right down to McGowan. This time, gain of 5.
And that was a good job by Boley there, because on that time, Tennessee Tech defensively, they have 3 guys deep and, you know, not letting anything get behind them. So check the ball down and live to fight another day. And now a critical 3rd down. If I were Cutter Boley, I would look the way of Kendrick Law. He's in that trips formation. 3rd one from the bottom.
Kentucky 4 of 6 on 3rd down today, but they failed on their last one, trying to keep the drive alive here. They need 4. Boley goes to Law, makes the catch, but he's short of the sticks. falls forward, and this will be 4th and 1.
Yeah, that ball was just a little bit to the outside. He couldn't catch it and turn upfield quickly enough. His momentum carried him behind the sticks. He went backwards on it. And if that ball is on his inside shoulder, he can turn and get upfield and get it. But I think they're going to line it up here and go downhill.
Boley under center to Dowdell, who pushes that pile into Tennessee Tech territory, picks up the first down. Good 4th down conversion.
Look at the line of scrimmage. I mean, they were trying to bring some guys up in the gap.
Might be a good time to take a shot here, Rocky, like you were talking about a few plays ago on a 1st and 10. Instead, they keep it on the ground.
Great tackle.
Dante Dowdell.
Caleb Purdy, the safety, transfer from Kansas. Really good play here.
Tackling in space. Tackling, of course, is a lost art, right? How many times you see it? NFL, college, high school, some poor tackling, but man, when you can come downhill and make a tackle in space, that is a great quality to have.
And what makes a good tackle? You played linebacker 8 years in the NFL.
It's knowing your leverage, knowing where your help is and where your help isn't, and that's half the battle.
Seth McGowan.
If you come down, you have good leverage, you know somebody's there on the outside, you know where to put your head and where to fit your hat on it. And then from there, it's just sheer will.
You're just not seeing as good tackling as you used to.
Yeah, I mean, training camps are shorter and not as physical. I think it's all part of it.
3rd and short again. McGowan. He has delivered all game, but this time might be just shy. With Tennessee Tech, they are battling in the trenches here. Now, this is not the type of game they wanted it to turn into, right? When you're going up against an offensive line that has 5 inches and 80 pounds on average across the board. You don't want to turn this into 3rd and short, 4th and short, but they're hanging in there.
They're hanging in there. Miles Cooney, great job, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, they're leaving the offense on the field for another 4th and 1. Dowdell again, a huge burst. Easy 4th down conversion.
And what you want your line to do on that zone run, you tell them to find the bubble. Find where's the penetration, little arc there where they're pushing them back. You can see he comes right in there. Boom, there it is. Find the daylight and hit a nice patient run. And you can see, I mean, Tennessee Tech is rotating. They got a very deep defensive line. They're trying to rotate fresh bodies basically every play.
Play action. Boley, pocket collapses, nowhere to go with it, and he is taken down and sacked. Tyler Swan, a loss of 12 on the sack.
And Boley was trying to find Josh Caddis, the tight end, coming to the left part of the field, but he wasn't open enough, and then there all of a sudden there's 2 white jerseys right in front of him. Again, you can see they're trying to leak the tight end out across, but he kind of turned the wrong way. If he'd kind of come more flatter into the sideline, he might have been open, but that was the sack.
2nd and 22 after the sack. Boley throws over the middle. It's caught. Gilmore. Check out the speed. Touchdown, Kentucky. Gilmore got lost in the secondary, and after a 12-yard sack, Boley hits the speedy sophomore for a 45-yard touchdown.
That's Gilmore on the dig route, and Jay, I mean, just an absolute laser beam that Boley throws. Watch it zing right in there. I mean, right in between 2 white jerseys who run into each other. It's Theron Gaines, oh, the great linebacker, down on the field right now.
Yeah, best defensive player. Good to see him bounce up. We'll step aside. Now, because Gaines is running off, it looks good. We're going to stay here for the extra point. It's good to see Gaines get up, because that's the last thing you want to see if you're Bobby Wilder. He told us we cannot afford to lose any of our players in this game. One of the best defensive players, not just in the OVC, but at the entire FCS level, Gaines. Gosh, going back to that replay we just showed you, the touchdown. Talk about threading a needle.
That's what I'm saying. That was an amazing pass.
Take another look at this as Kentucky goes up 35-10.
Yeah, and again, a great pass, a little friendly fire, unfortunately. Claims Theron Gaines, hopefully he's okay, but Gilmore takes it from there into the end zone, 35-10, Kentucky.
Time for some random fandom. Meet Nancy House, a 2003 UK law school grad, originally from London, Kentucky, about an hour outside Lexington. She has been tailgating here her whole life, every Saturday, and she goes all out. This tailgate, they got the chandelier, the decor, perfect. And then Big Blue Nation here, pregame at the House tailgate. Lively pregame, awesome.
Nothing more I love at a tailgate than a carpet and drapery. Now that's luxury tailgating. What an excellent fan.
Nancy House and these Kentucky fans have had plenty to cheer about, not just today, but in the month of November. They're just playing good football. You beat Auburn on the road, then you absolutely hammer Florida, and you follow it up today with the elements. The goalposts are moving, the wind has played a factor all afternoon, and you know, when it's a windy game like this, you run the football, right? And that's what Kentucky has done. 4 rushing touchdowns today. 35-10 lead, well in control of this one. And you wonder if Bobby Wilder might have seen enough trying to keep his guys healthy. We'll see if he keeps the starting quarterback, Koa Vesperis, in the game when we come back. Just a beautiful November Saturday for some SEC football. Driving through downtown Lexington. Kentucky up big 35-10. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Rupp Arena over there on your left-hand side. We were there last night for Kentucky's win on a Friday night. Nice treat for us. Both of our first time ever watching a game at Rupp Arena. And we had a blast.
That is the mecca of college basketball. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to catch a game last night.
A good bounce back win for them after losing to their rival Louisville, although their head coach, Mark Pope, he wasn't happy.
Well, we noticed even in the second half a little sloppy play, some turnovers, not the things you want.
All right, that's enough basketball analysis out of you, Boyman.
That's about all I got for you, bud.
Under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Tennessee Tech does stick with the starting quarterback, Koa Vesperis, trailing by 25. Chucking a deep ball out of bounds into double coverage. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that's really about the only shot they've taken all game. It's been a lot of running, a lot of Vesperis scrambling around, and he's done a good job finding open guys.
Well, head coach of Tennessee Tech, Bobby Wilder, told us when he felt this game was out of hand, Vesperis would come out. He said he had 2 depth charts for this game. One if we're hanging around, one if we're out of it. He must feel like his team is still in it. Down 25.
I think a lot hinges on this drive and, frankly, this down right here.
3rd and 2. Vesperis throws. It's caught. First down, Tennessee Tech. Maury Sullivan. He's made some big catches. That's his 5th, and it goes for a gain of 11.
Yeah, Maury Sullivan, nice physical receiver, coming right underneath. Little slant route. Vesperis, we talked about his accuracy, one of his best qualities. Perfectly thrown ball.
Quick hitter, well defended by Kentucky.
Good open field tackle there. I think that was done. We haven't gotten the tight end Brian Courtney involved here in a little while.
He's just got the 1 catch, and it's for the touchdown.
Yeah.
.40 seconds left in the quarter. Vesperis Steps up. That's the other tight end, Tyler Nix, who makes the catch.
Yeah, Nix was in for Courtney on that play. And he's been so impressive at. And a good job as soon as he finds Nix open, boom, he uncorks that thing, little sidearm delivery that we're seeing so much these days.
Yeah, that has just taken over across college football.
Copying Patrick Mahomes, that's what's going on.
And the thing with that is, as we finish the third quarter, there's only one of him.
There's only one, yeah.
We head to the fourth quarter. Kentucky 15 minutes away from making it 3 straight wins and advancing to 5-5. Hey, you don't see this every Saturday. In between the third and fourth quarter, 2 head coaches meeting at midfield, Bobby Wilder and Mark Stoops. Didn't have a mic down there, so we can't tell you exactly what they talked about. And speculation would be that Tennessee Tech, speaking with their head coach this week, Bobby Wilder, said once this is out of it, he figured maybe you shorten the second half if possible, keep everybody healthy.
But I think the case that Mark Stoops is going to make is, look, we got 3 guys out on defense, right? 2 of them for the entire season. We need to get our backups, our guys, some reps here for the final push. So we'll see what the decision is, but I can certainly understand Mark Stoops' side, why he doesn't wants to use every bit of this game he can.
Yeah, stay tuned for the post game. See if anybody asks the coaches what that was all about. Couple of missed tackles. Tramel Jones, another Tennessee Tech first down, and for a team that we just speculated was trying to wave the white flag in between the third and fourth quarters, they're not playing like it. 2 good plays to start this fourth quarter.
Nice job shooting to the outside. I mean, it's kind of like the same play with Tramel Jones that we've seen out of Kendrick Law. Shoot it out to him, let him make some guys miss.
Disparis throws. Trey Holloway couldn't come up with the catch.
That was a tough throw as he's turning back away from it.
Yeah, Disparis just missed him there.
He got some pressure off his right side.
I don't know if Disparis has been able to plant his feet and throw the ball all game. He's either been on the run or off his back foot. Constant pressure. Disparis checked down over the middle into the safe hands of Maury Sullivan, who's the leading receiver today. Tennessee Tech has showed that they have been a 4-down team when they get down to this part of the field. So 3rd and 6, but probably have 2 cracks at it.
Yep. Like to pick up a few yards here. Kentucky's kind of packing it in.
Pressure comes, batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Brought a little bit of a blitz. So it looked like it was Steven Souls. Batted that thing down.
Offense stays on the field for 4th and 6. Kentucky looking for a turnover on downs. Pressure comes. Disparis trying to escape. Rolling left. Hit as he released it. And that's a turnover on downs. Grant Godfrey was in hot pursuit. And it'll be Kentucky ball. Wildcats defense continues to deliver. Another 4th down stop. They'll have the ball up 25 when we return. Still a lot of football to come on Week 12's SEC Network slate. New Mexico State taking on Tennessee, and then Mississippi State at Mizzou for the nightcap. Don't forget SEC Network College Football Final. We'll follow that. Plenty of SEC football to talk about on what feels like a critical November Saturday. You got Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, and how about Texas A&M coming back from 30 to 3, down 27, and they end up winning at 31-30.
That's what great teams do. Down but not out.
So the Aggies stay unbeaten.
Official timeout for an injured player.
They inch closer to an SEC championship appearance.
Just 3 unbeaten FBS schools: Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M stays unbeaten.
Kendrick Law gained 16, and there's a Tennessee Tech player down, so we'll step aside with an injury timeout. 1st and 10 Kentucky when we come back. Now this was the injury to Ty Moss right at the end of this 16-yard gain by Kendrick Law. Moss is number 1 in white. You just see that ankle get rolled up on.
But the good news is he did get up and walk off the field on his own power, so that's a great sign. And those are the kind of things why Bobby Wilder wants that running clock, right? You want to get out of here without sustaining any injuries.
So 1st and 10 after the injury. Free play here. Tennessee Tech jumped. This will be a free 5 yards coming.
Offside. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Greg Turner the third. Just jumped a little early.
And you are seeing some, different guys out there on defense for Tennessee Tech.
And they've got their conference championship game for all intents and purposes next Saturday against UT Martin, and then the FCS playoffs will begin.
I don't see Theron Gaines in there, their best linebacker. So Bobby Wilder certainly rotating in some guys and trying to get out of here as healthy as he can with his starting unit.
And Mark Stoops still has his starting offense out there looking to put up another touchdown. Been another impressive display after they put up 38 on Florida. They got 35 here into Tennessee Tech's territory. The broken tackle. Here's Dowdell. Went for the half hurdle there after a big gain of 20.
Yeah, he went for the hurdle and then I don't know if it's there. A nice look at that vision. And he's stuffed and sees some daylight off to his right and then hits it. Stay down on that one.
Play action. Boley, easy throw there. Cam Miller, gain of 11 and another Kentucky 1st down. Into the red zone, the Wildcats go.
Cam Miller, the freshman, true freshman, getting in on the action. Well, we talked about it all game, Jay, but it's not like Cutter Boley's throwing just to Kendrick Law. He's getting a lot of his guys involved. So Cam Miller there.
Hands it off this time. Great run by Dowdell, and he's in. Dante Dowdell. And Kentucky pouring it on in this 4th quarter. They go ahead by 31.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this Kentucky offensive line has worn down Tennessee Tech up front, and scoots foot inside the pylon, gets the ball inside.
Well, you were saying McGowan had the 3 rushing touchdowns earlier. Dowdell was looking for one, and he gets it.
I mean, you're happy for your buddy, but you want a little, little pay dirt too.
19-yard carry for the score. Kentucky goes 74 yards in just 5 plays. This is Zach Schreiner, backup kicker on for the extra point. Getting an opportunity, he knocks it right through. I think you're going to see both of these teams continue to empty out the bench. Kentucky with Dante Dowdell, a 42-10 lead in the 4th. 2-10 in this 4th quarter. Tennessee Tech about to have their nation's longest active win streak, 15 games that they have emerged victorious. That streak about to be snapped. Meanwhile, Kentucky, they're going on a bit of a win streak here in November. And 10 minutes and change away from making it 3 straight, advancing to 5-5, taking care of business against the top FCS opponent today. We speculated before we stepped aside that there would be a quarterback change, and that's what Tennessee Tech does. They put in Jace Wilson. They want to keep Kakoa Vesperis healthy for their UT Martin game next week and FCS playoff run. I think you're going to see a lot of 2s on both sides of the ball. Another factor for why you might want to get some backup, some burn if you're Kentucky is if there's any seniors that aren't in the starting lineup. This is their final game at Kroger Field. Next 2 games on the road at Vandy and at Louisville, so an opportunity to let them make one last play here at home.
Yeah, a bunch of seniors, some that have been here for 4 years, some that have been here 6 months. That's kind of the nature of college football. Nonetheless, Mark Stoops wanted to honor those guys, those upperclassmen.
You know, and as much as, and for good reason, attention has been brought to Cutter Boley and turning this season around in the second half surge. I think it takes a strong senior class, good leadership group to keep everybody believing when you go 2-5 in your first 7 games. Ball's out. Tennessee Tech falls on it. Cam Dooley pried it free. He had an interception earlier.
You're right, Jay, and a lot of those seniors on that offensive line. Great job. That was Cam Dooley coming up, putting the helmet on the ball and popping it out. And those safeties, I think that's the critical position Mark Stoops wants to make sure they're secure at. With losing Jordan Lovett, their great safety, will be done for the year.
Well, Dooley's looked good today with a fumble and caused fumble and an interception. Tennessee Tech takes a timeout with the play clock winding down.
Tennessee Tech, 30-second timeout.
And a 3rd and 7. The last thing you want to do with a backup quarterback is get a delay of game and back you up even further here. Well, the seat has certainly cooled down on Mark Stoops. You mentioned that 2-5 start, and you know, everyone's going to speculate, is a change needed for a guy that's the winningest all-time coach at Kentucky? And I think his seat is safe. But here are the coaches that were terminated in the middle of this season. A lot of SEC openings, 4 of them: Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, and LSU.
And Jay, it's amazing so many coaches fired mid-season, because I was told by a lot of people that, well, in the age of NIL, they don't want to give coaches buyouts because that's money they can't pay their players. Well, to the contrary, it's amazing. All these buyouts these coaches are getting, it's crazy.
And again, I just think the rush, right? We need a change now. Well, I'm not saying any of those programs like LSU or Florida would have turned their season around.
Well, and the question I always ask, as soon as someone says, oh, we got to fire the coach, we got to get a new coach, my instant reaction is, all right, who are you going to get?
Right.
Who are you going to get that you know and are absolutely sure is going to come in and do not just a better job, but a much better job than the guy you had? And if you can't answer that question emphatically, you should rethink your desire to fire that guy.
It certainly, as Kentucky fans can attest to, Florida didn't look any better without Billy Napier.
Right.
They got crushed here, 38-7. I think ultimately it's great for Kentucky that they turned this thing around, and Mark Stoops' seat has cooled down because he has brought so much success since he came here. And sometimes you can be a victim of your own success. We just showed you kind of for decades and decades what it was here, and then he brings success, winning his coach ever, and then everyone wants to shove him out the door.
Yeah, but people get used to winning, and okay, we're winning 9, 10 games a year, and then it doesn't happen. People, yeah, it kind of resets your expectations.
New quarterback in here for Kentucky.
And real quick, Jay, I remember at the beginning of the season, Kentucky had the 5th toughest schedule starting the season. Right now, currently, they're rated the 6th toughest schedule. I mean, just had to go through the absolute gauntlet in the SEC and a lot of those tougher games on the road. And now here they are the last 2 weeks, going on 3 here, playing their best football.
This is Brennan Ward in at quarterback. 3-star freshman getting some burn here in the 4th quarter. Yeah, this is what you were talking about, Rocky, the schedule. You go up against 4 teams in the top 25, and then you still got at Vandy and at Louisville. And there's no reason, the way Kentucky's playing right now and the way they played against Florida and Auburn, they can't go on the road and beat Vanderbilt and or Louisville. And that would really, I think, end the season strong. You go to a bowl game. And I said it at the beginning of the show, it just feels like the feel-good factor is back for this program.
Yeah, it is. The energy, the juice.
Another freshman, DJ Miller, he makes the catch there. Interesting that Stoops has gone to Ward here instead of Bo Allen or Zach Calzada, who on the depth chart at least, you thought those two were ahead. This is Ward's first game action of the season.
Offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Keep it on the ground. This is about running this clock out, and both teams probably feel that way, right? Tennessee Tech just looking to get home healthy. Kentucky 7 minutes away from extending this win streak to 3 in a row.
Potential 3rd down conversion here for the young freshman.
Deflected right at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't get it out cleanly. That brings up 4th down. Kind of no man's land here if you're Kentucky at the 44-yard line, 4th and 6. Leaves the offense on the field here. Cutter Boley exits this game. Only 3 incompletions, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. Couldn't have asked any better from him. Now his backup, Brennan Ward, fellow freshman, trying to convert on 4th and 6. Runs left, throws. Great catch. DJ Miller, another freshman. He's showing some flashes on this drive. Gain of 13.
Yeah, a lot of folks real excited about DJ Miller around here. 6'3", great size, and this is what you want. The ball can't be on the money every time. Do you have a receiver with a big catch radius? Contorting his body around. Nice pickup.
Jason Patterson.
6 minutes remaining. It is the Kentucky second-team offense is getting some work here. I just keep staring at the Cutter Boley stat line, and I think back to the run where he just completely plows over a defender for the touchdown. That is a program-changing quarterback, a Kentucky kid. You know, defense has played a lot better, and the supporting cast has as well during this win streak. But you know, even after this season is over, Rocky, you got something you can tangibly look to and build on.
You absolutely do, Jay. But look, there's no turnaround that happens without your quarterback play getting better. It just doesn't happen. He's significantly elevated his game. And
pass interference. Defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Let's get another look at that Cutter Boley run.
Yeah, if you missed this earlier, these are the intangibles, right, Rocky?
Yeah. And right there's some quarterbacks that they just go out of bounds. Okay, get the ball on the 4-yard line, no big deal, but he lowers his shoulder. And what that does to the rest of your team, the offensive line, but my experience, particularly the defense. I mean, they're like, man, we're gonna, the guy leading the helm here, it's tough. He's a gamer.
It's funny, I asked defensive coordinator Brad White about that, and he was like, yeah, I mean, our defense is playing really good, though. I mean, it's awesome that Boley's been so good.
Yeah.
And it is a team effort and complementary football, but don't take away that the defense held 2 SEC teams to a combined 10 points.
No, I just mean from an excitement standpoint, it kind of permeates throughout the whole team, yeah.
Everyone has felt the energy shift in the last 5 weeks. That should have been a touchdown. Miller just couldn't quite hang on. Would have been the first collegiate touchdown for Brennan Ward.
Nice throw by Ward. Fits that thing right in there, right?
Good throw.
The triangle.
Boley thought it was a touchdown. That's great. 3rd and 6, Ward. He flings it out inside the 5. First collegiate catch for Montavian Quisenberry. Freshman from Danville, Kentucky, right outside Lexington. He wanted the end zone, though. Offense stays out for a 4th and 2. Kentucky been excellent on 4th down today, 3 for 3. And Tennessee Tech takes a timeout.
Second charge of the half. Tennessee Tech, 30 seconds in length.
Plenty of good football still to come on SEC Network. New Mexico State taking on Tennessee. That game just kicked off, and then Mississippi State at Mizzou. Not to mention over on ABC, Oklahoma and Alabama, and Texas and Georgia. Well, you couldn't have scripted this one much better for Mark Stoops. Offense looked so good. Defense has done their job. And a fan base that the feel-good factor has returned to as Kentucky is about to improve to 5-5. A chance to get to a bowl game if you can beat Vanderbilt or your rival Louisville. I think both those games very winnable the way Kentucky's been playing here in November.
That's exactly right. The way they've been playing here, they're playing their best football at the end of the season.
4th and 2. Another drop in the end zone. Ward trying to squeeze it into Hardley Gilmore, who had a touchdown earlier, and it's a turnover on downs.
Great pass break up by Timothy Jones there. Slant route trying to get him to come underneath. Yeah, it's a little behind him. Like to have that ball, should have hit him right on the 7 instead of outside the 1.
Golden Eagles stick with Chase Wilson, the backup quarterback. Ends up tackled in the end zone, but forward progress ruled him down the 1.5-yard line.
Great job. Aiden Dawaher coming up, backup linebacker, filling the hole.
The 2s and 3s out there for Kentucky right now, and they're trying to make a play. You rarely get on Kroger Field. Couldn't come up with one there. First down, Tennessee Tech. That's Maurice Sims, backup running back for the Golden Eagles. Well, Tennessee Tech's longest active winning streak in all of Division I college football about to come to an end, but that does not take away what Bobby Wilder has done in 2 years here, taking over a program that hadn't had a winning season in 12 seasons and has them in the top 5 in the FCS standings. And if you're going to have your 15 win streak snap, might as well do it on the road in an SEC stadium.
And I think they can walk out here saying, look, we did some good things against a certainly better opponent in all facets against Kentucky, but now we got to get back in and focus back in on winning our last game against UT Martin and hopefully getting a top seed.
Well, you could say, look, we scored 10 points, which is the same as Auburn and Florida did combined.
Yeah.
That's nothing to be ashamed of. And again, this is a Kentucky team that I think, regardless of opponent, is just playing really, really good football behind Cutter Boley and a defense that is dominant. Now, they got the 3 injuries, Sam Green, Alex Afari, and Jordan Lovett, that they'll have to deal with. But it would not surprise me if this team ends the regular season on a 5-game win streak. So there'll be 3 games into it in about 2 minutes as we go to the 2-minute timeout. Kentucky moments away from getting back to 5-5 and finishing out this victory. Tonight, after they're done in Columbia between Mississippi State and Mizzou, SEC Network will give you a full recap on what has been a nutty day in the SEC. Texas A&M comes back from 30-3 here in Lexington. The Wildcats took care of business to make it 3 straight, and they'll have you all caught up. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and a lot more.
The Texas A&M game, I still can't believe.
You feel sick for South Carolina on the road. You play so well, you go up by 27 and lose at Kyle Field in heart-wrenching fashion. That was one of the early season losses for Kentucky. They went at South Carolina and lost. You get the feeling if you played them in November instead of September, that might have been a win. This is a team that's going to get back to 5-5 here and go on the road to 2 ranked teams. Although they're ranked right now, Louisville's going to fall out of the loss last night.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 players on the field, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now that game at Vandy a week from today will be fascinating. Vandy been one of the stories of college football this season, and just don't be surprised if Kentucky goes into Nashville and comes away with the win the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I think it was actually a good thing facing Koa Vesperos today, because Diego Pavia is going to do what Vesperos did, right? Kind of run around and extend plays, so that's a good little warm-up for going against Pavia.
Tennessee Tech looks like they're just going to kneel this thing out. What impressed you most about Kentucky this afternoon?
Well, I was impressed with Cutter Boley for sure. You know, he's continued, had another great performance. The run game, you know, the offensive line, everything we set up. I just think overall, Jay, it's exactly what Mark Stoops told us this week. Is, you know, our execution has finally caught up to our effort. You know, they've always played hard, but now they're executing, they're making the right blocks, receivers running the right routes, quarterback making great decisions, defense flying around. We'll take some more momentum out of this one.
Undefeated in the month of November, 3 in a row, and back to 5-5 on the season. Tennessee Tech loses their first game of the year and snaps a 15-game win streak dating back to last year. Cutter Boley steals the headlines again, but this was full team effort for the Wildcats to win it 42-10 to close out the season here at Kroger Field. Final 2 games of the regular season on the road, but they took care of business against FCS opponent Tennessee Tech. For Rocky Boyman, our terrific crew behind the scenes, I'm Jay Alter saying so long from Lexington.